Welcome to Military Faith and Spiritual Resilience. This is Elizabeth Fulgaro. With me today is Erin Nichols, nutrition and fitness coach and Gold Star wife. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Thanks for being here today.
I'm so happy to be here.
Can you begin for us to share a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, well, I'm from Northern California, raised in the Sacramento area in the suburbs. Actually grew up coming down to the Central Valley in Turlock, where we are right now. So it's both foreign and familiar, as it's changed a lot in the last 25 years or so, probably, since I've spent any significant time down here. I'm a nutrition and fitness coach, as you said, but my educational background is in speech language pathology, which I went back to school for, which we'll probably get into the timing of that and all that later. But yeah, I'm a happy aunt of particularly my sister's kids. Unfortunately, I don't get to see my late husband's kids all that often, but I get to be a big part of my two nieces and nephews' life, seeing them at least twice a week.
Tell me a little bit about what's most important to you then.
Family.
So that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
it sounds
definitely.
like family first. And knowing a little bit about you, I think that's figured prominently for you for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So this jump from, and we may be getting ahead of ourselves, but this jump from speech pathology to nutrition and fitness coach, is there a story there?
There is. Yeah. I mean, it kind of jumps into the middle of the story.
Would you like to take us back to the beginning?
Wherever you want to go is where we can start. I was even before Sam was before his last deployment, we were kind of, he was going to be separating from the Marine Corps after that, and we were in a really similar place to where we had been when we were like 18, where we didn't really know what we wanted to be when we grew up. We just knew it was going to be together. And we were just 4 years older. Not much had changed, being in, that 4 years in the Marine Corps had given us like housing and medical and, money to pay the bills and live. But as far as advancement in life, not much had actually happened. We were just older, and we still didn't really know what we wanted to do. And so after being, 380, 400 miles away from our families at Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, northern San Diego County, compared to our families in Sacramento, we thought, well, Reno, over the mountains, is close enough but far enough away from our family, and we would kind of be able to establish our own adult selves there. And I was actually planning to study nutrition at University of Nevada, Reno. So, and I'm not even sure why I was that into it at that time. I think I just kind of didn't know what else to do other than like English or teaching kind of things.
So you were interested in nutrition, or you were kind of looking at nutrition a long time ago? Yeah,
I was. And I'd always really been interested in physical therapy too. So the only reason I kind of did speech therapy instead of physical therapy is because I was often the patient. And so I thought, well, I don't know if I want to put all my educational eggs in my fragile, injury-prone basket and then not be able to physically be able to do my job. Well, speech language pathology was similar enough. And after my husband's traumatic brain injury, the neurological aspect of it really interested me. And then we had one speech therapist in particular who was amazing. And she was kind of my inspiration for taking that route. And even when I was in school, I was able to go back. She was in the Bay Area, and I was able to go back and do some of my clinical observation hours with her and be back in the hospital where we spent 6 months and work with her. And even when I expressed my interest while Sam was still a patient at that hospital, because she knew that that's what I wanted to do now, she would kind of teach me things as we went along. And even observing other patients, because there would usually be a roommate. And so I was able to learn a lot before I even got to school.
That's really cool. That's really cool how it's cool how stories kind of develop, right? In life, the different threads and how they connect and reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
So you're mentioning Sam.
Yes.
I think it's probably time to introduce listeners to Sam.
Yeah.
So who was Sam and how did you first meet?
Sam is my late husband. So Sam was a year younger than me, and so I was a year ahead of him in school, and we were both in ROTC, Air Force Junior ROTC in high school, at Castor High School in Orangevale. And before the school year starts, every year we would have this thing called summer leadership. So it's kind of like our version of basic training. So the incoming freshmen would come in, they would kind of learn the ropes, they would earn their first rank and some ribbons and things like that. And then it was more of a leadership opportunity at different degrees for the sophomores through seniors. So as he was an incoming freshman, I was a sophomore, and I'm not sure how many days into summer leadership it was early on. And I was standing under the tree outside of the ROTC room in the shade. And I guess I was standing there alone because I don't remember anybody else being around. And this James Dean looking very cute boy with devastating blue eyes and floppy hair comes over to me and introduces himself, says, "I'm Sam Nichols," and kissed me on the cheek.
Wow, what a start. How old were you?
I was 14, and he would have been like days from turning 14. His birthday was August 12th, and summer leadership was like the first 2 weeks of August.
So where does it go from there?
So we ended up, one of the semesters, we had like 2 terms, and one half of the year we were in the same flight, the same class for ROTC. And so we spent like a little bit of time together, but we were just like any other classmates, just kind of like friendly with each other. Not really friends. He had a girlfriend for most of his freshman year, a girl who was in my class actually, and not in ROTC. And yeah, I had a crush on him. He was cute, and he was one of the only like cute boys, honestly, that kind of paid much attention to me, I guess. And then it wasn't until the next summer that I just randomly got a call from him, like sometime in July, asking if I wanted to go out. So we were scheduled to go to Arcadia Fun Center, which has been bulldozed and now is becoming a housing community in Citrus Heights. And so we were going to go like miniature golfing and do whatever. Well, the day before that, I was in the car with my mom, and her cell phone rang, her like Motorola flip phone with the antenna that you pull out and the leather case and all that. And it was Sam. And he's like, "Hey, I'm with Jake. You want to go miniature golfing with us?" Okay, cool. We basically had like a practice date with our friend Jake.
That's great. That's great.
Jake was in my class, but Sam and Jake knew each other from middle school. So they were a year apart as well. And Jake and I were really good friends. And so we had like this practice date with Jake. And we miniature golfed. And then we went across the street over to the Sunrise Mall. And we went to Baskin Robbins. And Sam asked me if I wanted to share a Mocha Java Blast. And I did not like coffee, but I liked the idea of like sharing a drink with him.
Oh, yes.
So I had the like milkshake with 2 straws diner kind of image in my head. And so we walked around with Jake around the mall sharing this drink that I didn't like.
Very good. Did it help you like coffee?
No, it wasn't for many years after. I love coffee now, but I just think, the things you do for, the boy you like or whatever. And then the next day we had our actual date. And had a good time.
So where did it go from there? Because obviously it continued.
Yeah. So, we had a pretty good makeout session that next day. And then we just kind of, dated each other. And then at some point it became official. And actually it was in, I think it was in October or November, we had this drill competition every year where for ROTC we would go to one of the other local high schools and compete in all sorts of different marching related categories. And we won, our school won the sweepstakes trophy. So we won lots of individual trophies, and we won like the whole tournament. And my mom was like the ROTC mom, and she, drove on all these things and would give boys haircuts, make sure that they're going to pass inspection, all that kind of stuff. And so we were celebrating at Leatherby's in Citrus Heights, which is Leatherby's is like home cooking in my family. And we had our big sweepstakes trophy sitting on the table, and there were probably 5 other ROTC kids, including Sam and myself, and then my little sister was probably there too. And we were kind of wrapping things up, and a couple kids had like gone to the bathroom, and Sam pulls out a pen from his pocket and grabs a napkin, and he writes something on the napkin, and then he slides it over to me, and it was like we were in a negotiation, and I look at the napkin, and it says, "So, do you want to make us official?"
Very cute.
And so I wrote, "Very much so." Slid it back. And he says, "So, right now?" Slides it to me. "Yes." Slide it back to him. And that was it. So, you know what? It was October 30th. Oh, that's today, huh? It was October 30th because our later that night, a ROTC friend of ours was having a Halloween party, and then, which we were exhausted. My mom did all the drop-offs, and then took us to that thing. But then the next day, our first kind of official thing that we did as boyfriend and girlfriend, other than that party, was go trick or treating. So it was the last time I ever went trick or treating.
Very sweet, right?
Yeah.
So what year was that?
98, maybe.
Okay, so you're still in high school at this point?
Yeah, this was right before my junior year of high school.
So you were together a long time.
Yeah. So I guess that would have been 99. So I graduated in 2001. So yeah, 98, 99, or 99, 2000, 2001. So yeah.
So you stayed together through high school?
Stayed together through high school, and then a few weeks after I graduated, because I was a year ahead of him, he actually broke up with me.
He what?
He broke up with me.
No way.
Yeah. With me? I know. How could he? I think we had feelings that were way too strong for our emotional intelligence and capacity at the time.
That makes sense.
And certainly experience. He was my first boyfriend. I wasn't his first. And it was a lot. It was just a lot to handle. And so he broke my heart, broke up. And then, I don't know, a month later or something, it wasn't even that long, we started to kind of hang out here and there. And then it was just kind of toying with me because we would get together, and then we'd fool around or whatever. And then I started to feel like, all right, he's getting what he wants. But because we're not back together, nothing that needed to change was changing. And so after a few times, I was like, I can't do this. Either we're together or we're not. Which I was really pleased to hear later on that broke his heart.
Oh, so it brought him to a new decision point, maybe?
Yeah, well, and then we didn't really talk for several months. So several months later, so we broke up in June. So like over that summer a little bit, we saw each other, and then in November, very beginning of November, I believe it would have been, we just ran into each other at the Sunrise Mall, and just out of the blue, ran into each other. Hey, whatever pleasantries. It was really nice. Gave him a hug and all that, and then I immediately went into American Eagle, was right there, went into American Eagle, grabbed, I don't know what, some sort of piece of clothing, and went into the changing room and cried.
Oh, escape quick.
Yeah. And I was just trying so hard to keep it together.
Yeah.
Talking to him. And, but then he called me a day or two later on the phone, and we talked for like 2 or 3 hours. And it felt like the old Sam and Erin. And in high school, like, it was Sam and Erin, which always makes me think of the book Lord of the Flies, and the twin characters. Their names are written as one name, Sam and Eric.
Yes.
We were Sam and Erin. And that was part of the problem, because we were like the showpiece. We were Sam and Erin. And we needed, even though it was brief and we were still very young, that time apart allowed us to become Sam and Erin. And so as painful as it was, that time apart was really important. So after we talked, he said, yeah, we should get together soon. And so a couple days later, I was going to community college, and I called him and said, I'm out of school at like 1 something or whatever. Do you want me to come pick you up from school and we can hang out in the afternoon? Because he got out at 2:45, and so that was the plan. So do that. I get there, back to Casa to go pick him up, and I'm walking toward the ROTC room, and we see each other, and we're like walking towards each other, and it's about to be this like momentous, like, cue the slow music and the slow motion, right? And then our friend Jessica, Erin, hey, what are you doing here?
No.
And just completely like interrupts the whole thing. And we're both looking at each other like, did she really just do that? So I went into the RTC room and like talked to people and hung out or whatever. And then we went back to his house, and his bed was a futon that was always in the couch position. And so it was really good for watching movies. And so we sat there and watched some movie. I have no idea what it was, but over the course of the movie, we just were like inching closer and closer together. And by the end of the movie, his arm was around me, and the movie ended, and he looked down at me and I looked up at him. And I think he asked me something about like how I liked the movie or something like that. And I have no idea, but then we kissed, and we were together ever since.
Sam and Erin.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So will you stay for the next episode to share more with us?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Erin.